Now, I know that y'all have probably heard that there's allegedly a tape out there of Pimp C and Beyoncé doing, you know what? But that tape have been the reason why he was allegedly univied by none other than Jay-Z.
But yeah, it is a tape, and if you read the comments, a lot of people figured out. Okay. A lot of people figured out because, you know, people that was in Houston at the time, they know who was a little loose.
Damn, not Pimp. And Ken saying that the person who was on that tape with Pimp C was a little loose and it was known, baby. I know I've heard more than one person suggesting that Beyoncé was a little loose back in the day.
Terry Lynn Carrington, Dr. Terry Lynn Carrington, who put together Beyonce's entire female band, which was Matthew Knowles' idea because he couldn't get Beyonce to stop people. Guess you didn't know your daughter well enough because she just started all the girls.
Well, allegedly one of the people Beyoncé slept with was Pimp C, and Pimp even had a tape with Beyoncé, and I don't know if he threatened to leak it. But there have always been rumors that the tape may have been the reason why he was on Alive, courtesy of Jay-Z alleged.
I'm saying, Sean Carter, you're a piece of shit. Taking Pimp C wasn't bad enough. You just want to go down there and you want to just remove all of the balls from every real gangster in Houston.
OMG, the drama in Hollywood is insane. Okay guys, just for a bit of background about Pimp C, he first signed to Jive Records in 1992 as part of UGK with Bun B, and they released their major label debut album, Too Hard to Swallow the Group. Then followed this with their second and third major label albums, Super Tight in 1994 and Ridin' Dirty in 1996, both of which charted in the Billboard 200. The group also received national attention in 2000 after being featured on Jay-Z's hit single, Big Pimpin', which peaked at number 18 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 1 on the Rhythmic Top 40. Then they went on hiatus for the first half of the 2000s, and both members pursued solo careers. Unfortunately, in December 2007, on Jay-Z's birthday, Pimpy was found dead in his hotel room with a coroner's report attributing his death to complications stemming from heavy consumption of lean and his pre-existing condition of sleep apnea. As for what exactly happened, Pimp C had been staying at the Mandarin Hotel in West Hollywood, California, where he had been working on new music and performing with Too Short on the morning of December 4th, 2007. He was scheduled to fly back home where his wife Chinara was waiting with his cousin Ed at the airport to pick him up, and after not hearing from him on the morning of the scheduled flight, his wife called the hotel and requested they check on him based on reports the hotel staff discovered Pimp C unresponsive in his hotel room, where paramedics pronounced him dead shortly after now. According to DJ Paul of 36, Mafia Pimp's manager Rick Martin described seeing Pimp's body laying down like he was praying, but there was blood around like he was hit. They thought he was probably HD in the head, but they didn't know what the hell happened because there was blood everywhere. Based on what DJ Paul said, Pimp was knelt down like he was praying and the candles were all the way burnt down, so they knew he'd probably been dead for a day or so, because he always lit those candles to sleep. And one thing that a lot of people said back in the day was that the death was a bit sus. Then add on to that the rumor that Pimp C had something going on with Beyoncé that didn't quite sit well with Jay-Z. Baby, we all know how Jay-Z gets when somebody gets too close to his woman, right? I mean, we already had Bum narrating how one time they were in the studio with Beyoncé and Pimp C was there as well, and Jay-Z called the studio to find out who was there. And then when he was told that Beyoncé was dressed in a spicy outfit, he demanded that all the men vacate.
The video comes out and everything, and of course I'm blowing the smoke and it's baller. And I remember asking Hov about it. He was like, yeah, man, I'm not finna have y'all looking at my girl like that. You know, that's it. He was like, I called. I was like, who's in there? What are they doing? And what she got on? And when I realized what she had on, y'all had to go.
Honey, if I remember correctly, something similar did actually happen with Sean Paul when he was doing Baby Boy with Beyoncé in.
When I got there the night before the video shoot, I was told I'm not in any scene with her, which to me at the time, the way I was thinking about the video was totally different. I thought we were gonna kind of act something.
In fact, Sean Paul himself said that despite the song's massive success, he only got to perform the song with Beyoncé 3 times. He even said that the second time they were scheduled to perform together, things were just weird. And there was evident sabotage going on. And the third time they performed, there was also something weird going on. Sean Paul also said that there was one more performance they were supposed to do at the VMAs, and Beyoncé told him that they were going to have rehearsal, But the day before the VMAs, there was a press day, and in the middle of it, Sean said that he heard somebody rehearsing Baby Boy. Then when he went to the label, they were like, yo, they're not going to do the song with you. Allegedly, all this sabotage was happening because Jay-Z was not pleased with all the rumors that were spreading that Beyoncé and Sean Paul had a thing. Now imagine how much worse it could get for someone who allegedly had an X-rated tape with Beyoncé, and get this. When Bun B was talking about his interactions with Beyoncé, he also recalled the time when Beyoncé's father told Pimp C not to hook up with Beyoncé.
Nephew Nose comes in and he asks Pimp, can I talk to you for a minute? And so they leave out for a couple of minutes and Pimp comes in and he's dying laughing. And we're like, what's wrong? He's like, yo, Matthew Nose just told me his daughter, man. Please.
Now to the people who have said that they suspected foul play. Back in 2017, DeShort said that he found the circumstances of Pimpy's death a little sus when he told Hip Hop DX. I can't believe it's 10 years. And I have never till this day been able to accept the circumstances. That's a lot of these little weird situations with folks getting found in hotel rooms, and they always be by themselves in a hotel somewhere in some strange. I'm just like, what the hell is going on with the celebrities and hotel rooms? Checking the 27 Club, you know what that is. And then he also said in an interview with Vlad TV that to him the death just didn't add up.
With me, I never really heard something that would give that closure for me. I never really heard anything tangible or true, like what happened to my guy.
Something else you should know is that Pimp C really didn't like Jay-Z, and I know that because in an episode of The Art of Dialogue, record executive Greg Taylor told a story about an awkward encounter that happened over the phone with Jay-Z and Pimpy. The story was that shortly after the deal for Jay-Z and UGK to collaborate on Ben Pimpin' was cut, he called Pimp, and then during that call that was unfortunately on speakerphone, he delivered the news to Pimp C, and Pimp straight up dissed Jay's in.
I got $1 million check for you. All we wanted was 100,000. I was just like, who's that with? I said, with Rockefeller. He was like, what? I was like, yeah. He was like, I'm watching Dan with the checkbook. He writing it out. He was like, ain't that with, over there with Jay-Z? I was like, yeah. He was like, man, tell him to take that check and go give it to Tupac Mama, man. He's gonna be stealing all my shit.
And then we had people speculating that there's a tape out there of Pimp C and Beyoncé in.
That being said, let's go back. You had mentioned Pimp C earlier. With that being said, did Pimp C really have a tape of somebody in the industry that would break the internet? You look like you done seen it, Marvin. You done seen it. Marvin seen it.
Tell him who it is.
Hey, man, tell him who it is. I wish we still trying to find out who was in this Pimp C tape.
All I can tell you, there was a famous R&B chick, and it was a guy that was getting money at the time. And, you know, Pimp, he used to be in the studio. And every now and then he'd have a camcorder, so he was able to get some footage. And he wanted to do something with the footage, but I don't know why he didn't do nothing with it, but if I could have got a hold of that tape, I'd be a billionaire, man.
Tell me, you don't find all this business with Pimmick a little too suspicious and given everything that we already know about? Ho, don't you think if there was a tape out there, he would do everything in his power to make sure it never leaked? Baby, let me know how you think. He reacted when he found out about the alleged tape in the below.